when you're on the sidelines, all you can do is look him bemoan now. But the thing is, right, there's this thing called Robin Hood. So, okay, all jokes aside, I'm only partially kidding here. I get it, right? It is manipulative, but to Delvin's point, this has been happening. This is the game. To the winner goes the spoils. You know what I'm saying? I hate to tell y'all that, right? He pointed out Nancy Pelosi because he was making the distinction between Republicans and Democrats and those people of that level overall. I don't understand why even people believe that this insider trader thing is not a thing already. I mean, you think people are just that tight-lipped? Like if I knew there was $1 million around the corner, and they're like, hey man, there's $1 million around the corner. You don't think I'm at least tell y'all, maybe? I guess I'll fuck with y'all for real, right? That's what this whole insider trading thing is, right? Like, hey man, hey, you know what? Tomorrow's a good day to buy some stocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, Trump said that because he could. You know what I mean? Where? And this is speaking to somebody who was on the outside. I didn't make money. I lost money in all this. You know what I thought when I lost money? Damn, I wish I was paying more attention. That's what I was thinking at the moment. Damn it, if I'm in the stock market, why aren't I paying attention to these things? Oh, I'm too busy working on other projects, right, to make my millions the old-fashioned way. But the point that I'm trying to make, man, I get the way. I think y'all can make some excellent points, but come on, man. I mean, the game is the game. You know what I'm saying? Hate
no,
the game.
Sir.
Don't hate the player.
I got one pushback. It's a very short pushback.
Hold on. I got you. What did I say? I got you. And I forgot this point. So, Jay, I feel like, and I'm glad you said something. I feel like people aren't giving any credence to whether or not the whole tariff ploy was actually a tactic, right? Because, for example, if what he says is true, in the next 90 days, if he somehow, I guess, renegotiates a bunch of different tariffs that I guess he can still come back here and tout that did help America in some way, shape, or form, are y'all niggas who I guess apparently don't believe that means shit, right, going to come back and say, hey, you know what? Because what happened was that he had the deadline. And then when the shit got to a certain point, he decided to recoil back except for China. This is chess, not checkers, right? So what I'm saying is, if it does, do you leave room for him using this as a legit tactic in order to get people to come back to the bargaining table? And if you do, then what do you say if it actually does work?
I say no. I say it's theater, and it's theater for the uneducated or uninformed. And here's why. Because tariffs do make things more expensive, because tariffs are taxed on goods that are coming into the country. So that's whatever. But the real issue is this. Trump's main argument is that he's doing this to combat what he sees as trade imbalances, right? Trade deficits between us and other countries. You know why there's a trade imbalance or trade deficit? Because America stopped being an industrial or producing country a long time ago and became a predominantly consuming country, which means if you do more buying than you do selling, you're going to have a deficit. Right? If you don't want a deficit, you produce more. You don't just make it more expensive for people to buy what's already out there, particularly before you have the capacity in your country to meet the demand of what you're cutting off due to prices. And after an inflationary period where money is already tight. Yeah, no, I don't think it's good business. I don't think it's good, makes good sense. I don't think it's a good tactic. He brings him back to a negotiating table. It's a negotiating table that he set up to set up a treaty of an economic trade war that he started. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Sir, for solving the problem that you created that we wouldn't have had if you hadn't started poking the bear in the first place. Like, no, you don't get a pat on the back for putting out the fire that you started. No, thank you.
That's well. First of all, that's not what I said. Let's be clear.
Yeah, you
right?
said, is it possible it's a tactic that now he's just trying to bring back to the table? And I'm saying the whole table is theater. Because that's not really America's problem.
Hold on, Jay. You clearly did not understand what I'm saying. So let me explain it to you, right? If I'm paying you $10 for X, and then I say, hey, you know what? Because you paying me $10 for whatever reason, I do something to change the terms. And so now instead of me paying $10 for X, I'm paying $9 for X. And what it took was for me to have a strong negotiating stance because I felt like the 10 that you was charging me, I literally just went through this recently in terms of signing a contract. In negotiations, you have to be willing to walk away. Now, you're talking about he created the situation, but his argument is that America's been getting fucked. His position was America's, regardless of whether, here's the thing, right? For me, I don't have to agree with the position to understand that a person can have a logical footing in the position. right? Meaning that I can disagree with it, but understand. So I'm trying to draw the scenario for you to say, because I don't think you understood what I asked you. What I said is that if he was able to come back after all this, because the truth is, when you talk about the losses, none of us sitting here are economically capable enough to talk about the losses are at this point in time, except for watching the stock market and the ticker and the conversation that we've heard for the most part, right? These tariffs didn't necessarily go in, right? He was able to kind of pull back on them before they took effect and then gave another extension, right? So we're not talking, so then we'd have to compare the cost and the benefit analysis. So what I'm asking is if he somehow was able to come back and said, hey, I was able to take what I was paying $10 from before, now I'm paying $8. That's still a benefit. I'm talking about simple math to be able to say what I did equaled something that was better for America, right? And I'm saying if he's able to do that, what would you say to that then? That what? It just didn't happen? Something else happened? Because that's what happened when he did the whole North American trade thingy-mabobber he did before. When he came into the presidency the last time, I think under Bill Clinton, there was a North American Trade Act that was signed. He came in, shook shit up a little bit, got a new trade agreement signed between them, the two countries, and he was able to tout that there was improvements on behalf of America. So I'm gonna ask one more again. Is it possible that he could legit have a tactic that he feels is going to lend to the benefit of America? Cool, you say no. But then what are you going to say then? Are you going to come back here and say, hey, man, you know what? I can't even be mad that he was doing something because you're saying you can't even see it now. That's the question I'm asking you, bro.
I'm saying he is definitely doing something. He's doing theater. And I'm saying, and it's all theater. Yet, can he come back and say, oh, look, I got this thing that was costing you $10 down to $8? Yes, he can say that. And if he would go out and set a goal in the beginning and say, hey, look, this is what I'm going to achieve, then we can measure metrics. When you go, I'm going to make big deals, big changes, the biggest you've ever seen, and you set no metrics and you set no goals, then yeah, whatever you come back with looks like a win because you never told people what to look for in the first place. You never really told them what a win looked like. You never really clearly defined the problem.
True.
It is. And when he speaks on it, he doesn't even speak the truth. It is. Look, talk to an economist or somebody who studied economics. Ooh,
they're all talking about the potentiality of these tariffs going in place. Get that. But they have not gone in place. Have they, sir?
They have not gone into place.
Okay, cool. So what I'm saying is up until this point, what are we talking about? It could still be viewed as a negotiating tactic, which is something akin to what he's done before. So I'm saying you can't even see it. Okay, so cool, we could just leave it, but I'm saying
we can agree that
if you can't even obviously the glasses are a little too dark, right? Because clearly
it's not the glasses.
With the North American Trade Act, excuse me if I'm butchering it, it is a living example of him doing something similar. I don't understand, but we can move on.
How is the economy now better than it was before the North American Free Trade Agreement?
Say again?
How is the economy now better than it was before Mr. Trump came and did his magic negotiating skills on the NAFTA North American Free Trade Agreement?
I mean, come on,
is
bro.
it
That's
better?
A really detailed.
No, you used it as a proof of his effectiveness, right? But all right, different conversations.
No, hold on. This came about because I asked you a simple question. To me, if you're wrong, you just admit that you're wrong. You're not admitting that you're cool. I'm saying I was supposing that if he could come back with measurable results that it did something, then I would say, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe I didn't see it. Then cool, he came back. You're even disposing that's even possible. So that's when I realized
everything does something.
The conversation, bro.
Everything does something. And how you spin it or lie about it.
Anybody could use that to make any argument, bro.
I'm saying it won't be positive.
That's what I'm saying.
It won't be positive.
It's not even a good conversation then.
Peg it. Save this episode. It won't be positive. I don't care how you spin it. I'll come back and point out how it's not positive. Save it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right. So,
come back. Go ahead. Zanelle.
Yeah, I was going to say, so with that being said, we're going to put a mark on this and say, okay, let's going to see the benefits, because at the end of the day, we are in a position where we have to determine, and where proof is in the pudding, basically, at this point, and that's for all things that's presidential or not, let's be honest.
Can't even quantify what's the problem now.
And so...
one price has gone up, and y'all bitching right now.
Are you serious?
I just want to know this.
You're asking me for proof, and you can't even provide proof of what the fuck you're bitching about right now.
Check the consumer price index.
Where's the proof, sir?
Check the consumer price index.
Okay, so let me just say this though, right?
What y'all talking about?
So let me just say this in regards to the tariffs. One, I agree with Devin that the insider trading bit has been going on the Democrat and the Republican side, because otherwise, how the hell they all can be rich walking out with only $100,000 salary, and they're walking out with millions of dollars of value and so forth. So I do agree that it is an issue on both sides of the aisle.